The Lord be with you.
And with your spirit.
A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Mark. Jesus took Peter, James, and John and led them up a high mountain apart by themselves. And he was transfigured before them, and his clothes became dazzling white, such as no fuller on earth could bleach them. Then Elijah appeared to them along with Moses, and they were conversing with Jesus. Then Peter said to Jesus in reply, "Rabbi, it is good that we are here. Let us make 3 tents, one for you, one for Moses, and one for Elijah." He hardly knew what to say. They were so terrified. Then a cloud came, casting a shadow over them. From the cloud came a voice, "This is my beloved Son. Listen to him." Suddenly, looking around, they no longer saw anyone but Jesus alone with them. As they were coming down from the mountain, he charged them not to relate what they had seen to anyone, except when the Son of Man had risen from the dead. So they kept the matter to themselves, questioning what rising from the dead meant. The Gospel of the Lord.
Praise to you, Lord Jesus Christ.
It's understandable that Peter, James, and John wanted to stay up on that mountain. Jesus had just said to them that he would be rejected, he would suffer, he would die, and on the 3rd day be raised up. Peter objected to this, and Jesus rebuked him. Then Jesus took Peter, James, and John and led them up the mountain and was transfigured before them. They heard the voice of God say that Jesus is the beloved Son. No rejection, no suffering, no death. This mountain is a really great place. They wanted to stay there. Wouldn't it have been nice if Jesus could have skipped all the negative stuff? If he could have just jumped from one wonderful experience to the next. To go from his birth and the angels singing with shepherds and magi visiting to his baptism and the Spirit descending upon him and God saying that he is the beloved Son, to the transfiguration and being seen in his glory, and again the voice of God saying he's the beloved Son, to healing people and feeding crowds and everybody liking him and appreciating him, to the entrance into Jerusalem and people singing hosannas, to the Last Supper, to Easter. No rejection, no suffering, no death, nothing, everything else, only the good stuff. But what would the message be if Jesus only had wonderful experiences in life? The message would be, if things are going well for you and people like you, then you're holy. You're the beloved. However, if things aren't going so well for you and people don't like you, well, then that means you're not holy and you're not the beloved. Jesus came right into the midst of life with us. He came right into the midst of the muck and the mess that our lives can be. He came to go through everything we experience. He experienced misunderstanding, deception, rejection, and pain. He experienced betrayal, lies, suffering, and death. He went through all of the things we experience, so no matter what we experience, he could be there with us. He could be there because he understands. And in every experience, he is there with us, and he's saying to us, You are the beloved. St. Paul said to the Romans, if God stands with us, it doesn't matter who stands against us. Jesus won't bring a charge against us. He came to stand with us. And if we were to keep reading his letter just another verse or two, he would say, nothing that happens to us can separate us from God's love in Jesus Christ. That's why Jesus had to go back down that mountain. As nice as it was on that mountain, they couldn't stay there. Because down the mountain is where we are. And Jesus came to be with us. And it's in the midst of life and everything it includes. The good, the bad, and everything in between. That's where we will experience God's glory.